Hello, WiLLo Davis. How's it going? I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to use the webcam today. Didn't feel like getting into the whole setup. This is just going to be a quick little thing. Sorry, I've been a tad under the weather. Bear with me here. Anyway, I saw in my email just before I got an email from the Pokemon company. I signed up for their updates or whatever, I guess, at some point. And they said new info about Pokemon Home or whatever. So I clicked on it. Brought me over here. They have given out details. Let me show you. Let me shrink myself down. New details about Pokemon Home, which is the service that they announced would be coming out in 2020, where it's where you can transfer Pokemon from the older games to the newer game. And there's a lot of speculation about it because they didn't give a lot of information. People were saying, what? So I transfer them over to Pokemon Home and they're stuck there forever because they showed a diagram. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Anyway, either you know what I'm talking about or you don't. It doesn't really matter because they have all the information here now. And let's just go ahead and I'll look through it and maybe we can both get a better understanding of all this. I can help explain through my vast knowledge of Pokemon. I'm just kidding. I'm not that vast. There's definitely people who understand this a lot better than I do. But enough. I am digressing. I must stop. Here we go. It says available February 2020. Interesting that it's in a few days and they don't have the date. Is it February 1st? Or is it just they're working on getting the last little doodads done and it'll be out is at some point in the month? That's interesting, but let's go ahead and read. Pokemon Home is a cloud service for Nintendo Switch and compatible mobile devices designed as a place where all Pokemon can gather. By linking the same Nintendo account to both Nintendo Switch version and mobile version of Pokemon Home, you'll be able to access the same Pokemon boxes on both versions. With Pokemon Home, you can move Pokemon between compatible games, trade Pokemon on the go, and more. So that's really cool if you can trade them mobile to mobile, because that is literally the reason why I don't have all of the Pokemon in Sword and Shield yet, is because it's just such a hassle to force my friends to sign on when I'm on, and then we have to trade the Pokemon and have to make sure they have the one and whatever. So if we can do it while we're both out and about, that makes it so much easier. Especially if you're trading something like the legendaries like Zacian and Zamazenta. You want to make sure you're getting them back or whatever. It's it's a little sketchy, the connection with the Switches sometimes. So it's it'd be nice if just okay, go on the phone, do it, done, let me get it back, done, and then that's it. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But they give details about every little thing. Apparently there's a premium version and a free version, which is nice because that means that you'll likely be able to do most of the things in the free version that actually matter, to actually more completing things in Sword and Shield, and then the premium will probably just make extra stuff easier, and we'll get into that. Okay, let's see. Move Pokemon between compatible games. They got more info on that. Here's the new diagram. It's exactly the same as the last one, I think, that they put out before this information was announced. But they clarify things a lot. Because originally people were saying, oh, so I transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Bank, which is basically the cloud service for all the previous Pokemon games, where it was basically you can upload Pokemon to them and then transfer them between games or whatever. So people are saying, okay, I'll send my Pokemon from Pokemon Bank or Go or Let's Go into Pokemon Home, and what? They're stuck there forever? Because you see the arrows says back and forth between Sword and Shield. Everything else is just to Home. So it's why would I transfer all of my Pokemon into Home if they literally are stuck there forever if they're not compatible with Sword and Shield? Because as we know, Sword and Shield does not have all of the Pokemon in it. It doesn't have the National Dex. They announced that 200 more Pokemon are coming with the DLC, which is still not all of them. So Pokemon Home, I guess, will be the place where you get all of them. It says there are plans to support Pokemon Go in the future as well, which I guess means that this is coming soon. Coming soon. And there's an asterisk next to Let's Go. I think what it's saying here is that You can use Pokemon Home to like transfer Pokemon between Let's Go games, but if you move a Pokemon that was in Let's Go into Pokemon Sword and Shield, it can't go back into Let's Go, I guess is what they're saying. That's a little vague, but so it seems like they're trying to make Home like be a thing for long after Sword and Shield. Like it seems like it's probably going to carry over into other things as well. Okay, and as it says here, apparently the connection with Pokemon Bank is going to be a premium service. We'll look into what the cost is of that in a little bit. But yeah, it looks like you're going to have to pay for that connection between Pokemon Bank and Pokemon Home. And once a Pokemon is moved from Bank to Home, that's it. You can't go back to the bank, which is very interesting. But, okay. I guess that makes sense. And this is interesting. I would have thought that when Pokemon Home comes out, they would just make Pokemon Bank free, because now it's virtually obsolete. Because now there's like the other thing. I mean, obviously you need Pokemon Bank to connect to all the older games. So like it just seems like they would make it free, since you have to pay for Premium Home to connect to Pokemon Bank, which is a paid service also. You would think they would just make Bank free. Especially if you're already paying for Home. But apparently they're saying the first month is free. The first month of its release, Pokemon Bank is free. So they'll give you a month to transfer all the Pokemon you want from your old games, such as Sun, Moon, White, Black, X, Y, whatever. They'll give you a month after Pokemon Home comes out, not like when you want, for you to make that transfer without having to pay for Pokemon Bank. I think they should probably just make Pokemon Bank free at this point, because they have Pokemon Home, which is going to be a paid service. Or at least make it free for people who are paying for Pokemon Home. Interesting. Okay, so that's all they had on Move. Let's go over to Trade. Use your mobile device to trade Pokemon anytime, anywhere. There are 4 ways to trade Pokemon using Pokemon Home on your mobile device. Wonder Box, which I believe is like surprise trade, as you may know from Sword and Shield. I think it's basically you take a Pokemon and just send them out into the world to trade with a random person. And it says it is basically a passive thing. You could do it while you're not like actually in the app. And it says you can do more at once if you do the premium plan. Okay, so basically I'm assuming if you have the premium plan, you can just go into your Pokemon Home thing of your list of all your Pokemon and be like, okay, I have 20 Eevees from trying to breed a shiny or whatever that I don't want. They're useless. Select them all, send them out. I'm going to get 20 random Pokemon back, and it's probably just going to be a bunch of Pokemon that other people are just trying to breed shinies of, or perfect IV Pokemon of. That's how surprise trade works. It's actually pretty cool, especially the necessity for it for filling out the Pokedex in Sword and Shield as of now, being that the actual options are limited. Okay, there's a little slideshow here. Rotom. Send her the Wonder Box. Okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 slots for the Wonder Box. Maybe that's with the premium, or maybe that's the free, and then if you get premium, you get more. I'm assuming this is going to be the premium, 10 at once. Seems like a probably maximum number. Okay, and then, so you set that up, and then I guess this is the screen when the trade happened. Oh, look, it's a... What is that? Is that a heal ball? What is that? I forget what that one is. And they got this freaking thing. Someone decided to send that via the free trade thing. Okay, good deal, good deal. The GTS returns. I believe it stands for like Global Trade Service. With the GTS, you'll be able to specify which Pokemon you want to trade and which Pokemon you want to receive, and then be matched with a trainer whose requests meet your criteria. You'll even be able to request Pokemon that you haven't yet registered in your Pokemon Home's National Pokedex. You'll be able to increase the number of Pokemon you can trade at once by enrolling in a premium plan. Okay, if you're not familiar with the global trade thing, basically you can say, I have Charizard, I want Squirtle. And then someone who has a Squirtle and wants a Charizard will be like, that's my dude right there. and then the trade happens as long as, and there's different criteria you could set too. Let's see what they offer here. Look, I'm putting my Chikorita and my Sableye into GTS, and I want a Blastoise, any gender, any level, from any game. Okay, you can choose which game it comes from. That's very interesting. Oh, and this person's offering up a Venusaur. They want a Blastoise, and there's a little personal message. Please trade Pokemon with me. Thanks in advance. That'll really get them. Oh, and this looks, maybe this is like the shopping page. Maybe you can like click on one of these and see what they want for one of these Ponytas. Okay, that's cool. That's good because GTS, if you don't have like a friend who just like has all the Pokemon already and can just like trade with you, GTS could be a good way, especially to get Pokemon that aren't in your game. Like as far as Sword and Shield goes, like I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people wanting to trade exclusives for exclusives. In that sense, like maybe if you have Zacian and you want Zamazenta, and you could live without Zacian, they're both the legendary Pokemons of the games. Maybe you could just be like, all right, I'll trade this for that, and then like you just so you can fill out the Pokedex or whatever. Not ideal, but otherwise, maybe someone has a Zamazenta and they want like something else because they just have like 2 games or whatever, and they didn't need the extra Zamazenta or whatever, so you could trade them something else. So you can have a complete dex. And they also have room trade. Room trade lets you create a room and trade Pokemon among the people who join. Each room can hold up to 20 people. To add a little suspense, you won't know what Pokemon you'll receive until the trade is complete. Trading in rooms has no cost, but you'll only be able to create rooms when enrolled in a premium plan. So, this doesn't really seem like it does like anything. It seems like it's basically the surprise trade or wonder trade, but with a specific amount of people, such as up to 20 people that I guess you know or maybe don't know. So this seems pretty pointless to me, being that wonder trade is a thing, unless you're doing like some kind of tournament of your own, like someone in the room chooses what Pokemon you have to battle with or something. That could be a cool use for it. I guess it's just interesting. But yeah, the wonder trade exists, so I'm not sure why this exists, other than like the little niche thing that I mentioned. Make a room, here's all the people in the room, and this is all the Pokemon that they got from the trade. Some better than others, as would be expected. And friend trade, this is what I'm looking forward to. Friend trade allows you to trade your Pokemon with other users who you become friends with in Pokemon Home. You can add friends using the Add Friend feature in Pokemon Home. The features related to adding and managing friends in Pokemon Home cannot be used by users under the age of 16. Okay, maybe there's some type of messaging in there or something they don't want to get involved with. Okay, so this is what I needed. This is good. So I can just be like texting a friend like, I know you got a Diglett, my dude. I need him. I already have a Diglett. That was a lie. But hey, no, okay, this makes sense. I have an Oranguru. I still need Passimian in my game. I got like 15 Pokemon left to complete my Pokedex because I just can't seem to sit down at the same time as my friends and force them to do the trades with me that they don't really care either way about. Actually, what I should do is maybe when Pokemon Home comes out, I'll breed a second Oranguru, so I have a spare, and then I can put him up on global trade, and I'm sure someone's gonna have a Passimian looking for an Oranguru, you know? Okay, that was it for the trade section. Let's go over to more features. The National Pokedex is back, kind of. Not for Sword and Shield, but for Pokemon Home, apparently. Pokemon will be registered with the National Pokedex when you deposit them in the boxes in Pokemon Home. If you move a Pokemon that can Mega Evolve or Gigantamax, then these forms will be registered too. In the National Pokedex, you'll be able to see Pokedex entries from various different games in one place. This is cool. Now, there's a slight problem. As far as I know, the Switch Pokemon games are the only ones where you're not really able to BS a fake Pokemon yet. There are ways with the previous Pokemon games that you can make fake Pokemon, like online, and have them transferred to your game. Sick, I know. Disgusting. You could literally say like, I want a shiny Charizard. I want him to have maximum IVs. I want his EVs to be in this and this. I want him to have this nature, this ability. So, for that reason, the Gen 8 Pokemon in Sword and Shield are going to be the only ones that I guess people know are legit. Because once Pokemon Home comes out and you can connect with Bank, people will be able to bring in those fake Pokemon, I think. I believe as of right now, if someone has, you know, like a shiny Gigantamax Pokemon or whatever in Sword and Shield, I think it's legit. I don't think there's like really much of a way to fake that right now. There's ways you can like keep resetting or something to like find a shiny or whatever after a bunch of tries or something like that. You can fudge it a little bit, I think. But I believe there's not like a hack yet for Sword and Shield. But by introducing Pokemon Home, I'm fearing that you'll be able to bring in these fake Pokemon into the new games. The sanctity of Sword and Shield may be at risk when Pokemon Home comes out. Maybe only the Gen 8 Pokemon will be confirmed legit, or I don't know. But anyway, so National Dex is coming to Pokemon Home. So the National Dex is back in a sense. Everyone is going to be wanting to fill out their Pokedex, and especially with it being able to see it on mobile, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of gloating. But it also must be taken with a slight grain of salt, knowing that you may be able to import fake Pokemon into Pokemon Home. So, and look, it shows like, oh yes, you also have the Mega Evolution one and also have the Gigantamax one. So that's pretty cool. Like, you know, it's even more ways to have to fill out your decks, I guess. I think at this point, it's like you can't 100% this. Like, there's just way too many variables to actually like 100% the Pokedex. Like, you can get like one of every Pokemon, definitely, but like dang, all the different forms and everything are into account, I guess. But we'll see. People will do it. It'll happen. People will 100% it. I'm not saying they won't. It'll happen. The average Joe probably won't. With the mobile app version of Pokemon Home, you'll be able to see more than just Pokedex entries. You'll also be able to check each Pokemon's abilities as well as the moves it can learn. So this is going to be a legit Pokedex for your phone, it seems, which is pretty cool. Machamp. Here we have a Machamp, and it says all of his abilities that he can have, all of the moves that he can learn. I'm wondering... Okay, there's a Pokedex next to... I mean, a Pokeball next to some of these. I'm wondering if that means that it can be caught with these, and these ones like are from a different, like maybe this one you have to like breed or something, or it's a special thing, or like a TM or whatever. That could be it, or maybe it means like they have all of these moves registered in their decks or something. I don't know. That's still very vague to me. I'm hoping it's very robust. I hope it has all of the information, because it'll be annoying if you still have to like look at this and then like type in some information online and do like a calculator or whatever, or something like that, or a search engine to see more information. I'm hoping that they just went very robust and this thing's very complete with information, but we will see. Mystery gifts. Okay, so they have mystery gifts in Pokemon Home. It looks like you'll be able to accept Pokemon Sword and Shield mystery gifts in Pokemon Home, as well as Pokemon Home exclusive ones. So that's pretty cool. Maybe you get a little notification on your phone that there's a mystery gift thing out, and you could just go ahead and get it. Or maybe there's an option to put in codes or whatever right on your phone. Makes it a lot easier than having to sign into the game or whatever if you're out and about. So that's cool. That's a nice little thing. Judge Pokemon. Okay, so this is... I'm assuming this is saying... Okay, it shows the stats. Hopefully, I'm really hoping that, as I said before, it's very robust. I hope they show the IVs and EVs in a very clear fashion. Sword and Shield was very good at that. Like, the actual number for EVs isn't there, but it tells you when like a stat has like reached its max or whatever, which makes it, you know, a little easier. You don't always have to like look stuff up or whatever, or put it into a calculator. This may be a little too deep for some very basic Pokemon players, but it's worth mentioning for people like me who care about it. So, okay, it says okay stats, which in Sword and Shield means that its IVs are, in general, not that great. So I guess if you get a Pokemon and it says amazing stats, that's when you could maybe pull up a calculator and like actually figure out if it has like max IVs. Or maybe there's not showing that there's actual numbers somewhere. I suppose we will see in time. Your room. All sorts of information. Okay, so this is basically like their version of achievements and stuff. Okay, it's like a little home base. You could see who your friends are, see what like challenges you've completed. It's gonna be like achievements. Oh, okay, this person completed the challenge, Sinnoh starters, and then they get a nice sticker somewhere that they can place on this white background. Great. Maybe something cool will happen with that. Maybe not. Battle data, rankings. Okay. I guess that's kind of like ranked battles. It tells you what Pokemon people are using and the stats and how often and whatever. Oh, and personal data, I guess, for your battles if you're into battles that much. News, the points. Oh, and you can trade the points for battle points in game, which is good. You know, battle points you need to buy certain items like evolutionary items, EV training items, stuff like that. So it'll be good that there's other ways to get battle points other than just having to battle in the battle tower and stuff, which is going to get very annoying and dull. Okay, and they say which versions do which things. The Nintendo Switch version versus the mobile version of Pokemon Home. Only the Switch version you can move Pokemon with Let's Go. Only the Switch version, you can move Pokemon with Sword and Shield. Both versions are compatible with Pokemon Bank. Both versions judge Pokemon. Only the mobile version, you can trade Pokemon, receive mystery gifts, check battle. Okay, well these parts are kind of irrelevant. And only the Switch version, you can exchange for battle points. I suppose that makes sense. Now let's take a look at premium and the cost of that, and if it's going to be worth it or a big scandal. You can enroll in Pokemon Home Premium Plan for even more great features, and it is $16 a year. You can get the 1 month, 3 month, but obviously just get the year, because it's you know, if you're going to spend money at all, you might as well just get it for the full thing. Or hey, I don't know, maybe you only need 1 month to transfer all your Pokemon in, and then you'll be set, and then you don't need to keep paying for the premium thing. I guess that makes sense too. If you really plan on going hard, just get 1 month and then you can just, you know, update it as you need to. That's an interesting thought, I guess, you know, like all right, give me 1 month. I'll knock out the whole Pokedex or whatever, get it all done, bam, bam, bam. And then like later a new game comes out or like a DLC comes out or something. And it's like, all right, I'll pay another $3 a couple of months down the line and knock them all out again. That's a way to think about it, I guess. Just keep in mind, if you pay monthly and you just keep getting it every month, then you'll end up paying $36 a year instead of $16. Also, I wonder if you need Nintendo Online subscription to do any of this stuff with Home, because that is an extra $20 a year if you get the full year. So for 80% of the price of Nintendo Switch Online, you'll get a year of Pokemon Home. Okay, so you need, again, as a refresher, they give you this chart here. Only in Premium can you move Pokemon from Pokemon Bank. So if you want to fill out that Pokemon Home Pokedex, you're going to need to pay for Premium. Interesting. As of now, at least. Oh. Number of Pokemon that can be deposited. In Premium, 6,000. In Free, 30. You can have 30 Pokemon in Pokemon Home Free version. Okay, so this is a very, very basic free version. It is basically like a demo, the free version of Pokemon Home. Okay, so you're not storing anything in the free version of Pokemon Home. That changes this a lot, because that means if you stop paying for Pokemon Home and you have more than 30 Pokemon, they'll probably warn you that if you like cancel your subscription that you will lose your Pokemon eventually. I mean, I think in Pokemon Bank, they give you some absurd amount of time to actually start paying for it again before they actually like delete all of your Pokemon, because that would just be absurd. But wow, like 30 Pokemon in the free version. Like why even bother with a free version? So basically, it seems like if you start paying for Pokemon Home, you're going to be stuck paying for it for forever, or until you're able to get those Pokemon out of there and don't need it anymore. That is really interesting. So don't get too comfortable with your Pokemon in Pokemon Home then. That's very unfortunate to see. Okay, number of Pokemon that could be placed in Wonder Box at once: 10 in the premium, 3 in the basic. Okay, I guess that makes sense. You can only do 1 Pokemon at a time in the global thing in the free version, but if you pay for it, you get 3 Pokemon at once in GTS. Still not a ton. And then the making a room, you can only host a room trade with the premium one, and you can only judge Pokemon with the premium one. That's weird, because you can like tell the stats and stuff of the Pokemon by just looking it up outside of Pokemon Home. So it's weird that that's a premium feature to them when it's literally free outside of Pokemon Home. That's weird too, because then they're making free information premium, which doesn't make sense because you can just find it other places. This is weird, because I was ready to say this really doesn't look too bad until I got to the end here with the 30 Pokemon at once. So I don't know, it doesn't seem like Pokemon Home is going to be like a definite solution here, like a permanent home for your Pokemon, with the threat of, if you stop paying for the service, that they're gonna probably threaten that your Pokemon will be deleted or something if you have more than 30 in there. So this may make me skeptical. I mean, I'd probably end up paying for it anyway, just because of just some of the cool features, and especially as like the DLC comes out for Sword and Shield. I'm sure there's gonna be more and more reasons to have Pokemon Home Premium, but I will definitely be skeptical about just like throwing Pokemon in there willy-nilly, because keep in mind, if you take Pokemon from Pokemon Bank and put them into Home, as I said before, they're there forever. You can't remove them. You can't bring them from Pokemon Home back into Pokemon Bank after you cross them over. You can basically, once Pokemon from Pokemon Bank are into Pokemon Home, the only place they can go from there is to Sword and Shield, if they are in the Sword and Shield Pokedex, which, as we all know, is not the full National Pokedex with all of the Pokemon in it. So, many Pokemon that you transfer over from Pokemon Bank into Pokemon Home will be stuck there for the immediate future, until maybe another game comes out where they can go to. But that means that if you move a bunch of Pokemon over from Pokemon Bank into Pokemon Home, I should stop saying Pokemon, I should say from Bank into Home, then keep in mind you're going to have to keep paying the service, $16 a year, I guess, if you want to just, save the most money. Or they'll probably say you have whatever number of like months or years to start paying for it again, or else you will lose your Pokemon, or maybe they'll just lock you out of it until you start paying again. Not great. Everything seemed pretty okay up until this point. That is a dang shame. It is unfortunate to see the most money-making media franchise in the world doing this. They literally make more money. They're like the biggest media franchise ever, Pokemon. And it's a shame to see that they don't see the actual purchase of the game and the upcoming downloadable content as enough of a payment to keep a service like this going, on top of Nintendo Switch Online, which you need to do some battle and trading stuff in Pokemon now. So $20 a year for Nintendo Switch Online, $16 a year for Pokemon Home, so that's up to $36 a year to fully benefit from all of Pokemon Sword and Shield stuff. And they have 2 DLCs coming out this year, which I think you get both of them for $30 for like a total of $30 for both of them, which means that you paid $60 for the game, or $120 if you got both of them, but like don't get both of them. Like all you get is a few Pokemon that you can just trade over if you have a friend. But some people did, and so I'll just say if you got one game, $60 for the game, $30 for the DLC. We're up to 90 there, plus 20 for Switch Online, plus 16 for Home. You're at $126 for the full Pokemon experience for a year. If you got both games and therefore have to buy the DLC twice because the DLC only works for one game, then you're looking at $216, plus tax, obviously. And keep in mind that before Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, Pokemon games were $40 basically because they were like portable games like for DS and 3DS and stuff. And Sword and Shield was not much of an upgrade from those games. Just I played the whole thing and it's not. So in one sense, the National Dex is back in not in Sword and Shield, but just in Pokemon Home. You can now fill out the full National Dex through Pokemon Home for a premium fee. I will say this, up until this last point here, I thought that this thing looked pretty okay. I would be content with this entire thing if they just got rid of the 30 Pokemon limit with the free version, honestly. I'm probably gonna be paying for it regardless. I just really enjoy the Pokemon games. I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna enjoy it, and then I'm gonna be disappointed. But that does not revoke my right to complain about it. I will certainly complain about it all along the way. I have always said, since they mentioned that the National Dex was not gonna be in Sword and Shield, I've always said that they should put it in there, just, update it, put all the Pokemon in there. And I still, to this day, I believe that. I like any tweet I see with a hashtag bring back National Dex. It's back in a sense now, but not at all what I was hoping for with a recurring fee. It's just sad. I was hoping Home would be a place where you could actually just put all your Pokemon in there and just have them be all in one place, nice and safe. But unfortunately, they had to ruin it by putting the 30 Pokemon limit in the free version. So that sucks. It's not good. I would be fine if they just got rid of the 30 Pokemon limit and just made it the same as premium. So that way, there's not that fear of a payment stopping and then you losing all your Pokemon or whatever. That is my one thing. Other than that, it's fine. It's fine. I would have much less to complain about if they just removed the 30 Pokemon limit. Hashtag remove 30 Pokemon limit. So anyway, that's what they've given us so far. We'll see how things progress as time goes on, as we reach February. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. It really helps out with the reach and all that. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Anyway, I'll see you next time. WiLLo Davis out.